Google Gemini is making headlines everywhere. They just dropped their most powerful model ever with Gemini 3 Pro, which has topped the LM Arena leaderboard with unprecedented scores. But here's the thing, it's not just raw performance that makes people connect with a product. It's the experience, it's the design language, it's those little moments of delight that turns users into believers. And one of those moments with Google Gemini is in its loader animation. That pulsing, spinning, bouncing Gemini logo you see when the AI is thinking, it's not just a loading spinner. It's telling you a story. It's saying we're working on something alive. And what's more is that it uses a principle of animation that defines today's user experience with artificial intelligence. And if you master this rare concept, you've mastered a basic foundation of the AI era design. In today's video, we are going to reverse engineer the Google Gemini loader animation. We'll break down the exact techniques used to create this smooth, intelligent feel. So whether you're building your portfolio or working with clients in AI, or you just want to level up your After Effects skills, or you want to learn how animations are being used in AI products, then this video is for you. Let's break down what makes this animation actually work, starting with motion. One of the best examples of this is the small animated diamond that appears while Gemini is thinking. It's subtle, but psychologically, it's powerful. The motion uses one of the oldest animation principles, anticipation. Anticipation means showing something before it happens, a cue that something is about to occur. In Gemini's case, that animation tells us it's thinking. It creates tension, curiosity, and connection. It makes AI feel present. And anticipation is a principle that is derived from human life. And I've gone deeply into this concept and this animation principle in my 12 Principles of Animation series. And it's completely free and available on my YouTube. Definitely check it out. It makes AI feel present. And this principle is now everywhere. In ChatGPT's dots, in Copilot's waves, in Gemini's shimmer. And today we'll recreate this Gemini animation in After Effects step by step and see how a few keyframes can turn static geometry into something that feels intelligent. Just before we start, I just want to let you guys know that I'm sharing this project file with you guys, so you guys can download it from the description below and you can open it up in your After Effects and follow along exactly while I explain you guys. But the first thing I want to do is actually replay the final animation right from start to end, and then we can take it from there. This was really helpful to plan out the rest of the video, was to first start from this little top part. And the way I did it, we will twirl this down, come to add, and then click on this triangle button. And what we are looking for this animation is trim paths. And the moment we add a trim paths to this stroke, if I just increase the stroke, you'll see that I can easily just control the amount that this stroke line trimming in its path. So the first thing I did was I saw in the reference video that this little top part, this little piece here, is always where it starts. And even when it comes to an end, this is how the stroke layer kind of comes to an end right here in the middle. And then again kind of elongates. And you can see we've got the first keyframe here, and you'll see that this percentage of start is at 90%. And at 90%, you'll get this little piece right here at the top. But don't forget, I've also put the rotation at 20 degrees of the entire circle, right? So if I rotate this, you'll see it's the circle that's rotating, just so you guys know. And that's the child of the transform property of this circle stroke layer, right? So at 20-degree rotation and at 90% start trim path stroke, you will be having this stroke at this position. And then we move 10 to 12 frames forward. And once we move forward, you'll see that I end it right here. So we go from here and we end here where we've created kind of this half circle here at the bottom, right? And to create this half circle, the property changes from 90% of the start stroke down to 50%, right? And that's how it kind of elongates. So we go to 50%, and while we are at 50%, we simultaneously rotate the circle to 270 degrees. So from 20 degrees to 270 degrees. And that's exactly what will get you to this point, having this kind of semicircle. So we do one full rotation and we come back up again, and this is the very important part. For this to loop properly, we need to make sure that we are back in this last keyframe is identical with this first keyframe. And the same with this one, right? Same with this keyframe, which is at 20 degrees here in rotation. when I come all the way here, and this is the kind of last keyframe, I've not moved it here as well like this. So now I've moved it. You'll see here as well, we've got 20 degrees. But this 2 means we've rotated twice, but we've come back to the same amount of rotation after the rotating twice to 20 degrees. So there you have it. That's how you kind of get this full rotation back into the same little state that we had before. So then if you see the example animation here as well, so I'm going to just move forward to where it ends, and you'll see where that circle ends, you'll see that this circle just vanishes and this diamond just kind of scales up. And that's the moment where we are in right now. So here we've got the rotation done. Here we scale up, rotate twice, 1, 2, and then we scale up again, right? So I'm going to just turn off the reference video now, and I'll show you guys what happens here. We finish the 1 rotation, and then we scale up, and then we scale down again, just like in the reference video we saw. And then you'll see we do 1 rotation, and while it rotates, this is for the first time when the diamond rotates. So it rotates with the circle in the same direction of the circle. So we do 2 rotations with the circle, 1, 2, and then we finish right at the top where we are supposed to. But here what we've done is we've simultaneously, while it finishes, we've rotated up and finished the final rotation to scale up. So let me show you guys how we did the ending part. So press U. Here's the final kind of simultaneous animation on the start stroke path and the rotation of the circle stroke, which has brought us to this part. And then right before it's ending, I've already started the opacity animation from going from 100% to 0, so that we kind of make it disappear very nicely and gently. So it happens like this, and then it disappears. And right after it disappears, we do the little bounce up and then go down. And how I've done this is I'm going to open the logo here, logo property. You will see that right after this disappears, the logo property here, the diamond, has the scale properties. So I'm starting at 75% of scale. And here you'll see that I've got a little bit of an anticipation, which means I go in the opposite direction first, and then I zoom down and I do a double anticipation. You'll see that from 75, we go down to 70, right? So a quick jump back, and then we go again, scale up to 85, and then we go all the way down to 40. And that's where we kind of end our scaling while it rotates. So you'll see there's a lot of these anticipatory movements that create this dynamic effect. So let me just play that to you again. I'm going to press B to change the start point and the end point of the preview, so that we can just focus on that part, and I'll play that once more. So we do an anticipation, and then we scale down easily. So once we scale down, you can see already that this stroke line has come up again. And what I've done to create this stroke path again, to make it a easy transition and a more efficient setup for this animation, is simply by taking this first stroke path, and I duplicated the stroke path, I pushed it up, and then I just moved it forward. That's all I've done here, right? So that's what this stroke path is. This stroke path is literally the same animation as this, but I've just moved it forward to start exactly where I want it to, where this scaling goes in, and then we kind of show this again and we animate it. So if I press U on this duplicated stroke path, let me just change the color here so you guys know this is the duplicate. So if I press U, you'll see these keyframes are exactly the same as these keyframes. The only difference being I've created now a new keyframe here, starting keyframe for the rotation property for the logo, where we start at 0 and we rotate twice. So we end at just 1 whole rotation, and when you see a 1 here, it means 1 360-degree rotation has been completed. The moment you complete a 360-degree rotation, because if I just move it backwards, you'll see that here we are just about to complete a 360-degree rotation, and that whole thing happens just while the earlier stroke animation plays out. So it was very simple, and I've just matched the rotation direction with the rotation of the stroke line, and that's how we get this effect. Simple, right? And then right at the end, what I've done is, just before the rotation is ending, I've again added the final transparency animation here with the opacity right here for the stroke, for it to disappear again. We start from 100 to 0 opacity, so we go all the way down and make it disappear. And again, the simultaneous animation. While it disappears, I've created this scale property here for the logo, so that it scales up while that stroke line disappears at the bottom. And I've simply scaled it from 40, where we had before, to the original scale, which was at 75, if you guys remember. Right here, you'll see this value will be 75. So if I just pull it all the way back and make it go on this value, you'll see we've got 75. So we just end it where we started. So we just kind of zoom up. And one more thing to notice is that I've also added that one final rotation with the scale. And that's exactly how it is in the reference video as well. We just rotate and scale at the same time. So we rotate from 360 where we ended. I just rotate it one time to 180 degrees. So just one single rotation of 180 degrees while it's scaling up from 40 to 75. Alright, if you found this valuable, make sure to hit that like button and drop a comment below. I read and respond to every single comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing, because I'm putting out videos like this all of the time to help you grow as a modern creator. Now, I'll see you in the next one.